Hey guys, so I think my next experiment, because right now it seems that, well, while I'm looking at the girls, let me show you. Turn that darn thing off. Everybody seems to be doing okay. It's funny to me that, even if if Kai looks like she's going to go after somebody, if Gamma is nearby and Gamma kind of it's like she's the what's the word I'm looking for? The chaperone or the I don't know. It's like, don't you dare, don't you think about it. And it's like Kai has second thoughts and goes on her merry way. Poor Theta, look at her fins. Like, seriously. And I don't see enough fighting for that to happen. And that's been on her since before Kai showed up. So Kai did not do that. I'm wondering if it's this log, because honestly, the plants on it are not as soft as the silk. So I'm wondering if she's going in there in the plants and tearing up her fins. So my next goal, probably maybe with some of the money I get from donating plasma, I'm going to get some more silk plants and take that log out. Find another couple of places for them to hide that'll fit in there nicely. Take the log out. The plants obviously will go with the log. This is silk, but these are not, I guess, and a little too hard and rigid for their fins. So my next goal, with the money that I get from donating plasma, which I'm donating tomorrow, I'm going to end up taking this log out, provide them with a couple of other places they can hide, and add some more silk plants. I'd love to add live plants, but right now, since I'm not filtering, because that's another thing on my list, since I'm not filtering yet, I don't want to add the live plants. So I've got some things on my list of, things to do, things to add, once I start getting some money coming in from donating plasma, or once our money situation gets a little better in the first place, is that I want to add the filtration and the sponge filters, whether I DIY them or buy the sponge filters themselves. I already have an air pump. I just need to buy the tubing and, the three, or like a splitter or whatever, so that I can do a sponge filter in here and in here, and even one in there while she's in there. I put some wax paper over top so I could raise the water line a little. I still want to raise it a little bit more. But yeah, I definitely have some things to do to, since I haven't been seeing, aside from Kai, since I have not been seeing the aggression, take that log out and provide new places to hide and more silk plants. And then once I add filtration, I'll even throw in some live plants, for heaven's sakes. Do the same for Alpha. The snail is back here. If you could see him up there. And little Zeta up here. And she doesn't have any silk plants in here either. This is quite a sharp plastic plant. Alpha did fine with it. It's more for decoration than a place to hide. I just wanted to put something in there with her. But I don't know, maybe I should cut off this long branch of this silk plant and put that in there with her. Just so that she has something in there, so she's not bare, but doesn't have that. I mean, she doesn't have the flowy fins to get all ripped. She's in perfect condition so far. But I don't know. I've got some changes to make. Like I said, I'm not a new beta owner. I've owned males before, but I'm a new beta owner in the way of how much more I have learned since the first time I owned a beta. So I definitely have some changes to make. I want to put the filtration in. Before I even do that, that was going to be my number one thing. But before I even do that, I want to take out that log with those sharp plants on there, because Theta is looking really rough. And I know, I'm pretty positive that no fish is doing that to her. Because in all the times, I watch them a lot. And I never, ever see any aggression towards her from anyone other than Kai. And she had this damage before Kai entered the tank. So, I really am starting to think that it might be these plants. So, that's going to be my first goal when I get paid from giving plasma, is to take that out. I'd take it out now, but then I'd feel like they'd have so much less coverage for hiding, especially from Kai. But I feel like that's the first thing that's got to go when I get paid, and put new silk plants in there. Actually, I do have another plant. You know what? I have time before I go to work and before I meet Tara to get the coupon from her. I'm going to take this log out, and I've got some other silk plants. They're not silk, but they're softer than these. And I am going to put that in and see if, at least as a temporary fix until I get some silk. Where are these plants? And I will show you. So here is what I'm talking about. They're super long and flowy. They're not as soft as silk, but they're not, I mean, they're kind of pokey. But I'd like to think that in the water they won't necessarily be as pokey. But they're so long that they'll move. They used to be in our cichlid tank. Here is another one. It'll provide them places to hide in between. And again, if I hold this leaf and I do, that is super pokey and could tear a fin. But when they're lightly floating through the water, this might at least be a temporary fix until I get paid, so that I can get some silk in there. And because when I do this, it really doesn't hurt. Granted, I'm not a beta, so, but I'm thinking I'll take this log out and put those plants in. It'll still provide some coverage. And then once I do get paid from giving plasma, I will put actual good silk plants in there. Hey, if I have enough money, I'll even get the filtration already. You know what? Like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do I'm going to do what I can do to keep these girls safe. I love Kai's colors. I mean, seriously, guys, look at that tail. She is so beautiful. I just hope that she calms down and gets bored with chasing the girls. So, yeah, that's my goals now. Now that I watch Theta and I know the temperament of these other girls now. I've never, ever, ever seen them scuffle, ever. The only scuffler is Kai. I've never seen them scuffle, and unless they choose to do it when I am not watching, I watch them a lot. So I really am starting to think that it is these plants that is tearing Theta up. So, and even a little bit on Delta in that. So, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. And I feel like I'm rambling now. But, yeah. So, I think that's what I'm going to be doing. There's a snail back there. Little spot on the wall. So, yeah, and then get something in here also for Zeta. So, I was just thinking about that. I don't feel like it's as bright in here now with the brighter plants gone, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. They're like checking things out. I think I've clouded it up a little bit, sticking my hands in there, but some of the really long tendrils of the plants I snipped off, and like there's pieces that are just free flowing. You know, they're in there for coverage, but they're not attached. And again, this is just a temporary thing. Yeah, I've cloudied up the water a bit. But this is just a temporary thing. Until I get paid. And then I got some water droplets. But then I will get rid of the plastic and put in the silk and put in the filters, which would help with this cloudiness going on right now. And I cut off one of the silk branches, and it's in here with Zeta. So, yeah, I did a water change while I was at it for her. But yeah, this is going to have to do until I get paid, and then we will take care of it better. That was good. She had the opportunity to chase Theta, and she didn't. So yeah, that's what I got going now. And we'll see how that goes. I cut some of that off too. It was kind of in Alpha's way. A little much of it. Where's our snail? Oh, he's still back there. Okay. Anyway, I just want to show you what I did, and it's not a huge improvement, but it'll have to do until I get paid from giving plasma so that I can make the changes that I actually want to make. Hey guys, so there is a $1 per gallon sale going on at Petco right now. I was in there earlier, but I didn't have my money yet. So, well, I did have my money, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Plus, I needed to eat because I hadn't eaten since this morning, and then I went and gave plasma. So I went and ate, and then I was like, okay, I'll go now. I got to get gas first. So I went and got gas, and while I was standing there pumping gas, I started to feel faint and a little nauseated. So I was like, you know what? I am just going to finish getting gas, try and stand up through it, don't topple over, because I was starting to feel a little wobbly. And I came home. It was tough for me to go from the car to the front door because, again, I was getting wobbly. But I made it inside. I have water with me. Now that I'm laying here, I'm doing okay. I was sweating buckets. I was pale. So I think just what happened was, because I felt fine while the whole time I was there. So I think what it was that after I did that, I didn't come home and just rest. I went to the pet store. I went and got gas. That kind of I didn't just rest. So now that I'm laying here, I feel perfectly fine. But I'm going to just take it easy, and then maybe tomorrow I'll get the tank that I want, and they had a beautiful male and female koi beta. So I think I might get them. I think I might get them. But my goal, I believe, is to get I'm either getting a 20 gallon or a 10 gallon. I haven't quite decided. But if I get the 20, then on the other side, like I can put a divider in on the other side, I can have one of the males. Although I can also get a 10. I can get the 10 and put the sorority in it, and then I can divide the 5.5 and put the males in either side, and then I can put the female koi in the one that alpha's in right now. So decisions. It almost makes more sense to me to do the 20 because I can divide that more than one way if I need to. But I want to make sure that the the sorority has enough space, because I'm wondering, since right now they're only in a 5.5, that's why we're having some issues. So my plan is to get the tank and the 2 betas, and then I'm donating again on Saturday, because they said they can't do anything. If you've donated plasma before, they can't do anything with your first donation until you've donated a second time. And here in the US, like, my mom was like, well, wait a minute, I'm blurry. Hello. She was like, but wait a minute, you can only donate once a week. Well, apparently in Canada, at least where they are, that's the truth. You can only donate once a week. But here in the US, I'm in Indiana, you can donate twice a week, as long as there's at least 2 days in between each donation. You can do it twice a week. So they set up an appointment with me for Saturday. Hopefully this woozy, faint feeling doesn't last long, because my appointment on Saturday is at 8 o'clock in the morning and I work at 3. So, I mean, granted, it's only been maybe 3 hours since I donated. And right now I feel fine, but I'm laying down. I haven't gotten up to try and test my legs out yet. But I'll have several hours between the time that I donated, and I won't be there as long as I was today. I don't have to do all that stuff beforehand. I could just go in and donate and be done, come home and rest, and eat something. And by the time I have to go to work, I should be fine. We will see. But yeah, I was going to go after I ate. I got my stuff together, grabbed the keys, went to the car, went to get gas, and then I was going to go to the pet store after I got gas. And while I was getting gas, I was like, oof, you know what? That's not happening, because the last thing I need to do is pass out in the middle of the pet store. So it was hard enough for me to stand there and finish pumping the gas. So, because my vision got all fuzzy. You know that on TV, when you get a station that there's nothing there and it's just snowy? If I don't sit down, my vision continues to do that. It gets worse and worse and worse until that is basically what I see. And then I'll pass out. I mean, I'm assuming I'll pass out. I've never let myself stand that long to get to that point. I usually always sit, because I start to feel nauseous and I sweat buckets, and it sounds like everything is like in a cave, like I'm like far away. And that's the way I was starting to feel. It's stuff that has happened to me before, when I've been too hot, when I've been in pain. When I was pregnant and I would stand up for too long, sometimes that would happen to me. It hasn't happened to me in a very long time. I think The last time it happened to me was when I was carrying a lazy boy chair by myself, stupid me, up the stairs, and the exertion caused it. But today I felt that way, when I was getting gas, and it was probably because after I finished giving plasma, I didn't rest. I was still doing things. So I'm just laying here on my bed, with my bottle of water, watching the girls from across the room, watching Alpha. I'll have to show you when I go back to the pet store those kois that I saw. They're beautiful. I saw some other beautiful. I saw there were a couple of males. There was a paradise male. He was very pretty. And there was another one, an orchid male or something orchid male. He was even more pretty than the paradise. And I was so torn. But then I saw the kois and I was like, oh, I saw a female koi. And then I specifically searched out a male. So, and I found one and they're super, super cute. So, that's what I want to do. But anyway, I just wanted to say, I survived my plasma. I may have gotten to a point where I started to feel, but right now I am doing okay. So, my plans were a little ruined for going to the pet store tonight, but that's okay. It'll all be there tomorrow. I do work a split shift tomorrow, but I do have, I work 11 to 2 and then 4 to 9. So in between 2 and 4, I can run off and get what I want. So, and I do still need to get those silk plants. I'll have to get silk besides the tank and the betas. I'll have to get more silk plants. So, and then with my payment from Saturday's donation, I'll get the filters and, that kind of thing. So, but Petco doesn't carry. Petco has sponge filters on their website, but they do not carry them in the store. I did not know that. I was looking for them and he was like, I'm sorry, we don't carry sponge filters in the store. I'm like, oh, that could be why I can't find them. So, anywho, I am going to just rest here and I will talk with you guys later. Thank you for joining me for this random video. I hope you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk with you guys later.